message to be, hi Megan, we're already getting going. I probably should have just texted y'all all during the meeting, be like, hey, go ahead and get your solutions together.
It's all good.
So that's the first thing. We're going to set that to the side.
Wait, what's the TAE?
So that was the stuff in the tiny little Eppendorfer. It says TAE.
Oh,
Yeah, the
oh,
We
so same
used
from
buffer.
last
some of
time.
it last week to make your gels with.
Oh yeah, I
Then,
knew. I
and
knew.
then this
Aha.
week we're using it to make a 1% buffer solution. So that way, when we create essentially the electrolysis part of gel electrophoresis, we have a solution that will allow a current to pass through it. So you need 1 milliliter of this and 49 milliliters of distilled water. And you have two graduated cylinders to do that with. So you should have that in a beaker. Once you have that, you should find a tiny Eppendorfer that says dye extraction solution. And you should also have your tiny little bag of Skittles. So you can see that we were given these little pill cups earlier, and I have separated out my Skittles into the colors that I have. I didn't have any orange. If you have orange, you can use orange. Really depends upon how many wells you created with your comb to begin with. I only have 7, so I'm going to pick the 3 colors I like best. So I'm going to use red and purple and green. Yellow's not really my jam. It's a sunny disposition, but I'm going to pass this time because I've only got 7 wells. So what you're going to do with the dye extraction solution, if you should have 4 DPTPs or plastic pipettes, and they are graduated, and you can see the numbers along the side. So you're going to find the 0.5, and you're going to put 5 mils of extraction solution into your little cups with your Skittles. I have found that the more Skittles you use, you just get a higher concentration of the dye. And the trick is that once your Skittles turn white, take them out. Otherwise, you're going to end up with some other crystallization in your dye, and it kind of dilutes it. So as soon as like the red comes off my Skittles, I'm going to either take my Skittles out or take the solution out and put it into one of the Eppendorfer tubes that you have been given. So you're going to put 5 mils into each one of your little cups with your Skittles. And you can honestly use any kind of candy you want. And if your kids want to experiment with candies that they like, you can use like Tamale Red Hots. Skittles are the best, honestly. You can even kind of do it with M&Ms, but you really got to watch it because then you'll end up with chocolate. And you can use any kind of Skittles. Like if you have the blue bag or the green bag, I wouldn't use the sours because the sour stuff on the outside of the Skittles does not mix well. But you need 0.5 mils with your Skittles. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the dye off your Skittles. And that dye is going to be like our DNA. Depending upon your time in class, you can totally do this the day before and get the kids to just kind of move the Skittles around and get the dye off of the Skittles. Everybody
Yeah,
doing okay?
I was going to ask the same question.
What's that?
5 mil of the 1% buffer solution or 5 mil of the
No,
dye
5
extraction?
mils of the dye extraction solution. It's in a small little Eppendorfer tube that you were given. It says dye EX SOLN. It's in a tiny little Eppendorfer. Did you find it, Rowan? Okay, cool. Just double checking. You got quiet on me. Once you've gotten the dye off of your Skittles, you're going to use your DPTPs or your plastic pipettes, and you're going to transfer that dye into your Eppendorfer so it makes it easier for you to get it out with your micropipette. So the dye on your Skittles, just fun fact, is the same FD&C dyes that you've been given, but they're combinations. And some fun things that you can do is you can let your kids run this the first time to see like what's in the purple Skittle, what's in the red Skittle, what's in the yellow, what's in the orange Skittle. And then you can do it again. And the second time you do it, you can make mystery Skittles. And then have the kids to determine, okay, what kind of Skittles were made from this. So like if you don't have the ability to buy like the cool DNA kits from like Carolina or Rad or Fisher, again, you can use Skittles. You can also use food dye out from the grocery store. And then you can create DNA and it'll make cool little bands. You can do this with genetics. You can do it with evolution. Have all sorts of fun with it. Just for aseptic techniques, I'm sorry I didn't mention this before, but you should be using a clean DPTP every time you do this. If you have micropipettes, you can have the kids use micropipettes and it just teaches them good, aseptic techniques, getting a new tip every single time. How's
So
everybody?
what if you don't have the little tubes that you're putting the colors in?
They should have been shipped to you in your box that Megan sent.
No,
Do
I
you
don't
have
have
any?
those. No,
Okay,
ma'am.
well, you can
Sorry.
honestly, no, you're totally fine. I'm sorry that you don't have Eppendorf tubes, but what you can do is, do you have your micropipette?
I do.
Okay, so just do this, take your Skittles out of the container, and then if you just tilt your little plastic medicine cup to the side, you can just micropipette directly out from that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. I'm sorry that you don't have any Eppendorfers. I've been broke before and I've used just paper cups or plastic cups that you can get from the grocery store because at one point in time I didn't have Eppendorfer tubes either. I was like, nope, we're just gonna grocery store this. But just go ahead and take your Skittles out once you get your dye. So I'm going to use just 3 different Skittle colors. I'm going to go with red, green, and purple. And then I'm going to use the 4 FD&C dyes that you were given. You should have a blue 1, a yellow 5, a yellow 6, and a red 40. And those are the ones in the tiny ones. How's everybody doing so far? If you're ahead in the game, some preparation that you can be doing while we're waiting on everybody else to get to the same location and have their dyes and their Eppendorfer tubes is you are going to create a fun little 3-stack, 2-stack of your batteries. And the way that this works is that you have a positive side to your battery and you have a negative side to your battery. So with these 9 volts, you're going to click them into the alternate side. So for example, with your positive side, you're going to click in a negative side. And then on the bottom, you're going to keep Moving along, you're going to connect a positive with a negative, and then a negative with a positive, and you're going to end up with 3 on the bottom and 2 on top. So you're going to have a negative side exposed to your battery and a positive side exposed to your battery. It's going to look like that. How's everybody doing? So for the faces that I see, do we have dyes in our containers? Yes, can I get a thumbs up?
Well, almost.
That's
But
okay.
are we supposed to have all 4 of those tiny ones?
They should have been in your box with your batteries. So when you got your gel box that we created last week, inside of this box, you should have had.
Oh wait, I found them. They were just really tiny.
They
I thought I
are
just
very
had
tiny.
one.
They are micro Eppendorfer tubes.
PCR tubes.
Yes, PCR tubes.
Little babies.
Little babies. They're super cute. And mini PCR actually makes like a tiny little rack for you to hold them. But if, of course, I know that y'all don't have that, but here's a fun little trick. In your tip boxes, while you're micropipetting, if you're not comfortable with holding them, they will actually fit in your tip boxes like this. You can make a little rack for them, like a soul. See, they all fit just like that. All right. So give me a thumbs up if everybody has their dyes off their Skittles in their little Eppendorfers or in their cups, whichever way. We good? Okay, awesome. Does everybody have their batteries set up like a soul? Lovely. I'm loving the speedy feedback. You're excellent students. The next thing that you're going to need to do is you were given 2 paper clips. So this is the way that I like to do them. So you have like a short end to your paper clip and a long end to your paper clip. So you're going to take your paper clip and unfold it. So I just stick out one end to my paper clip and then I fold out the tri-fold one. And the long end is going to be what you connect your electrodes to. Like that. Is everybody good? Got 2 unfolded paper clips, batteries, and dies. That's where we are. Perfect. Excellent. 2 thumbs up. Okay, so you should have your gel box with your fun little pink comb. If you're fancy and you have a gel box, you can totally use like the real gel box. Not a problem. So here's where you actually take your comb out. I've left my comb in the whole time. So you're going to pull your comb out. Sorry, my child was going to a theater thing. And so now you have your wells. The buffer that we created at the beginning, you are going to pour this buffer on top of your gel. Now, there are some people that claim that they like to dry well. I'm not a dry well filler. I believe in having the TB buffer solution there because sometimes if you do a dry well load, which means you're just directly putting it into your wells with no buffer solution, and then you pour your buffer solution in, you could accidentally pull all of your dye out, which would be totally inconvenient. So teaching your kids how to do